Let's go through, though, the next tier of teams that are one level below, quote, obvious Vegas contender. Teams that are like Stella, trying to get their groove back. Teams that have gone to the finals recently and are trying to find their way back there. Phoenix, Miami. Denver went to the Western Conference Finals. Philly went to the Eastern Conference semis. And Dallas, who made their way to the Western Conference Finals last year. Let's talk about them. Miami, it's an ugly, ugly path for them. It is always gross. It never looks like they are going to be able to do it. And then they do. Somehow, some way. Jimmy Butler makes life hard. Even when he's making 42 points per game, it's like, man, it looked hard for you. They've been in the mix, though, 2 out of the last 3 years, right? They're always adding guys you've never heard of. They get them undrafted. They come out of nowhere. They fill roles that you did not expect. So, for example, they get rid of P.J. Tucker, right? So who's going to replace P.J. Tucker? They get this kid, Darius Days, at LSU. Darius Days is, who is his player comp? Well, just ask him. He says it's P.J. Tucker. So it's not a shocker that they replaced P.J. Tucker with a younger, up-and-coming P.J. Tucker. Jerry West, one of his favorite young players who didn't get drafted. If Kyle Lowry is back to being available, he missed a lot of time for personal issues, and I'm not even sure what those issues are. Then he missed time due to health. So if he's healthy and engaged and those personal issues are cleaned up and he's playing 75 games, let's just be more realistic, 65, 70 games, they could be a problem for a lot of teams. Are they good enough to beat a healthy Bucks team? No. Does it matter? They might not even face them. So just play your best basketball, Miami, and we'll see. For the Heat, though, to be able to truly get there, to truly be able to compete for a title, I think Bam Adebayo needs to be that guy. He needs to be so dominant. He needs to make life hard on whoever is guarding him. He needs to bam and not lay up. He needs to hit his free throws. He needs to be a problem night in and night out. So many times he goes David Copperfield, and just all of a sudden you don't know where Bam Adebayo is. Is he even on the floor? Oh, yeah, he's got 4 points in 38 minutes. You're like, that's unacceptable. So 2 years now, by the way, we've had role players not show up for their teams. You had Kevin Durant in the Nets, and you had Jimmy Butler in the Heat. They were just putting the team on their back so much that when it came down to closing time, they were so exhausted that they couldn't hit the final shot in order to seal it out. So role players got to show up. Moving forward, Denver Nuggets. Man, it's easy to forget how good the Denver Nuggets were. The bubble Denver Nuggets, unstoppable. Just the kids, the comeback cardiac kids. They played the Warriors close, and it was just checks notes. Doc Rivers' son off the couch, and Jokic, and rookie Bones Highland. And it was a sweat for the Warriors. It looked like, you see the 5-game, gentleman sweep? No, I watched every single one of those games. It came down to the wire. Down to the wire. When Doc Rivers' son is your second option, and you win any games against the team that ended up winning it all, like, that's a wow. You add back in Jamal Murray, who's a bucket. You add back in, hopefully, Michael Porter Jr. from injury, which, by the way, this has been a concern since he was drafted from Missouri. That's why he slipped in the draft, because he had back issues. So if he's healthy and back to being one of the best three-point shooters in the league, but one of the best two-way wings in the league, then, oh boy. Then you add in KCP, who's a very good, versatile defender. You add in Bruce Brown, who, again, can do a lot of things. He was a rebound king. He was a nice little small ball 5 for the Brooklyn Nets. And before Joe Harris just went into a milk carton, they were going to beat the Bucks. Everyone's got to stay healthy, man. I think that they can really make some noise if Jamal Murray is himself and MPJ is himself. Phoenix Suns, you move forward and say, how could Phoenix really compete? How? Tell me. How are they going to get back to being an actual team? T-E-A-M. A team that likes each other and is around each other and has chemistry and can overcome adversity when things get bright. We have seen them when they do like each other and they get derailed. I think that they are going to have a real hard time getting over that drama of the offseason. The issues with DeAndre Ayton, the issues with COVID, let's be honest, COVID ravaging their team, The issues with Monty Williams not speaking to DeAndre Ayton for the entire offseason, which is fucking weird. And DeAndre Ayton not reaching out to him, which is fucking weird. Him wanting to go to Indiana and still being in Phoenix because they have no other options. Robert Sarver being forced to sell the team. You know the whole thing. You know the whole list. How are they going to get back to the finals? They are not. They are not. What needs to happen? Well, DeAndre Ayton has to be happy. Otherwise, it's the Bismack Biyombo show. And I tell you what, I've seen a lot of Bismack Biyombo when he played for Charlotte. I saw him in Phoenix as well. I don't know that you want him being your starting five. I just don't think so. Booker, got to be an MVP. And this team might go to the second round. Philadelphia, very intriguing team. So to contend, they kind of need to be like Jedis. Embiid and Harden have to know what each other is thinking at all times. They need to be able to look into each other's eyes and know who wants the rock, where they want it, how much, how do you feed Embiid first. How do you feed Embiid and then not basically, what's that called? Not castigate. Is it castigate? What's it called when your balls get... Castrate. That's the one. Castrate. That's it. How do you feed Embiid? It's been a long day, Nick. How do you feed Embiid and not castrate James Harden? That's the question. Because when James is aggressive, he's not looking for anyone else. And when he's the distributor, he's not nearly as aggressive with his shot. Can we see the Houston Rockets version of Harden mixed with early Nets Harden? That would be an absolute problem. Are they going to be good in the post? Are they going to be able to rebound? They were one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA last year. Doc Rivers, who's a liar, said on Woj's podcast that they look very good right now in practice. I also saw some footage where they said that he said they didn't look good, but that was a week ago. So I don't know. They both need to be in shape. They both need to be healthy. They're usually neither. Both of them. So we'll see. We will see. I am intrigued. Let's just say that. I love Tyrese Maxey. He's the most likable player on this team. I think when you add, nobody's really talking about it that much after the signing, PJ Tucker adds a whole new element. They said after they lost to the Heat, they need some dogs, and they found one. PJ Tucker is that guy. He absolutely is that guy. You add in Daniel House Jr., which I'm not sure why they picked him up other than the fact that he can literally game up any woman in any setting. Remember, he got kicked out of the bubble for bringing down the COVID tester. He took her to his room, later right down. So maybe he's like James Harden's wingman. I don't know why he's on the team, but it's not to be a dog. It's to be something else. All right, let's move forward. Dallas. In order for Dallas to contend, what do they need to do? They need to acquire someone. Let's be honest. They need to figure out another backcourt teammate with Luka. This is a no-brainer. Nobody is in more dire need of someone to acquire than Luka. He needs a backcourt mate. Losing Jalen Brunson was a really big deal. They were 15th in offense last year. 15th. And then they lose the guy who can put up buckets at any moment with Luka. He was a very key piece when Luka was out against the Jazz. He put up 41. Do you trust anyone else on that team to put up 41 if Luka's not in there? No, you don't. Who can they get? Maybe Mike Conley. He can give you 25 minutes. He can give you some shots, a little lefty. He's got a 3-point game. He's not going to be a starter or anything. He's not going to, maybe he starts, but he doesn't play huge minutes. Even for 22 minutes a game, he's going to help. I don't trust Dinwiddie. I've said that. JaVale McGee, Christian Wood, they need to be better. They need to be an absolute bucket. Christian Wood needs to hit threes. He needs to be completely engaged. We can't have any more of those reputational things and question marks that Christian Wood has had before. Are they true? Are they not true? I don't know. But I know that they're out there. So they need to figure that out. Also, Jaden Hardy. If Jaden Hardy becomes like Ant Edwards midseason, then yeah, they can compete. But that's, obviously a big if. Deeper teams are coming, and they do not care if Luka puts 45 up on them at all. This is potentially a play-in team barring a trade. Yeah, it's true.